going to play this crazy game called Imaginiff, and it's one where you choose some people to go around the circle as subjects of the cards, which you'll see. What are you going to say?
Well, I was going to say it's for more than 2 players, and the rules say you're supposed to put your names on these. One for each player and around. But because there's only 2 of us, and because we prefer to play it this way, even when there's more than 2 of us, we use characters from television and books and movies rather than ourselves, because that ends up with funnier things, which I'll explain later. You can go.
Okay. Well, you've pretty much done what I was going to say. So, we have pre-agreed that since there are 8 namespaces here, what we're going to do is we're going to choose our fandoms, our preferred fandoms, or whatever you want to call them. So we are going to include 4 characters from Deep Space Nine and 4 characters from Tolkien. Do you want me to write? Do you want to alternate them, or do you just want to
that's
put
fine.
them
Just pass it
randomly?
back and forth.
Okay. Well, of course, where's a big space? Because I need to put... I'm going to put Thranduil in here. Anyone that feels
With a
like...
period.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's his name, and I'm sticking to it. Here's a short one. My first one is going to be Kira from DS9. And since you got to embellish, I can embellish too.
I removed the period.
I
from
remove
Thranduil.
my embellishment. Your turn.
I'm also going to actually include Dear Bilbo. There we are. Little hobbit.
I don't think we need to cap it every time.
Oh, okay.
Do we?
I don't know.
Let's see. My writing upside down. Did I do that right?
You did. Well done.
And after I said I didn't need to cap it, I capped it. So that says Odo.
And let's have Aragorn. That's a
a personal joke. My kids, way back during the first Lord of the Rings trilogy, were on their own reenacting scenes, and one of the kids was saying he was Aragorn, and if he got up, they would take his chair. They were going to push him out of the chair, or something. Anyway, the orcs were going to push him out of his chair. Well, I don't really need... Well, alright, we'll put Rom over here.
And I cannot write upside down to save my life, especially not such a long word as creepy elf. I mean Galadriel. Because I realised...
Creepy elf starts with a C.
That I hadn't represented all genders on my choices.
Well, you didn't have to do that.
So,
I almost wiped out Thranduil.
oh no!
And then I almost wrote his name.
Okay, so we'll put the pieces on the start. The little marker, we'll start it there.
It's a cartouche. Appropriate since it's the name marker.
Yes, I suppose so, yes. Very good.
Now, you get one of these when you roll.
First of all, you roll the dice, and then you move the cartouche around the circle.
And then you pick one of these up and you read it. Here is... You didn't put Gandalf on there, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so here's one that we came up with a while ago. This is one of the example questions. We keep a list. If Gandalf enjoyed a day in the snow, which would he do? Ice fishing, throw snowballs at strangers, build a snowman, head for the lodge bar, hike across a mountain, make donuts in a desolate parking lot. And at the time that was hilarious because that was the movie that was out. We also had one, if Grissom were a criminal, who would he be? So you have to agree with each other in order to get the point. You also have to have more than 2 players. But the way we play it by ourselves is if we agree, then the 3rd player wouldn't matter and we get the points and move forward. If we don't agree, we roll for what the 3rd player would say. So the 3rd player would pick number 3 on the card. And
there's a 1 in 6 chance of it matching one of our answers.
Right.
Yeah.
So then it would continue that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it. So,
Yes.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're starting with the good Major Kira. So, Kira suffered from a phobia. Which would it be? Ochlophobia, which is a fear of crowds. Arachnophobia, a fear of spiders. Triskaidekaphobia, fear of 13. Mysophobia, fear of dirt. Acrophobia, fear of heights. Or nyctophobia, a fear of darkness. So they are numbered 1 to 6. I put it down here. So if Kira had a phobia, which would it be? I choose 3, the fear of 13.
Nah, I said 1.
So we have to
roll.
roll.
Why a fear of 13? And you win. So you move your 1.
And because it was my turn, I moved 2
You moved
rather
2,
than 1.
yeah. But why a fear of 13?
I don't know. I just thought 13 is a superstitious kind of number in general. So with the Bajorans being a very superstitious sort of race, I went with the 13.
I went with the fear of crowds because having been a freedom fighter and all of that, the more people you have in a crowd, the less crowd control you have. The more chances of someone being out to get you being there.
Okay.
Or, I don't know, more so than superstitious. It's the only thing that, I mean, it's the only thing I could imagine she would have been afraid of in all of that. If Thranduil were a member of a threesome, which would it be? Not like that.
I'm sorry.
The 3 Stooges, the 3 Tenors, the 3 Musketeers, the 3 Wise Men, the 3 Blind Mice, or 3 Mile Island. Alright, okay.
Okay. Well, your question. So
Well, I debated between 2, but I picked the 3 Musketeers.
Okay. And I picked the 3 Tenors.
Okay.
So that's 2 or 3.
And 4, so nobody agrees, nobody moves. Why the 3 Tenors?
Well, I was torn between that and the 3 Wise Men, mostly by process of elimination, with him not being the others. And I figured the 3 Tenors were very dramatic, and he comes across as very dramatic.
See, with me it was between the movie Thranduil with the thing face and the 3 Blind Mice losing their tails. But in the end I picked the 3 Musketeers more for the sword thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know enough about Lord of the Rings. So, I don't know as much about the Lord of the Rings as you do about Deep Space Nine.
This is true.
Because I resist everything Elvish, and and you fell in love with Deep Space Nine.
Let's go with Rom.
Rom! Quark's brother Rom. Oh, Rom.
If Rom were a circus performer, which would he be? A clown, a trapeze artist, a lion tamer, a juggler, a fire eater, or a performing poodle?
I'm just imagining Rom in a poodle suit.
Okay. 4. A juggler.
Yes, that's what I said. Because of the balance of the trays and having to remember orders
And deal with his brother and everybody else. So we each move 1 because that was
the other person's turn.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, it's a bonus card, so whoever, if we win, we move 1 extra space.
That's yours, right? If you win.
I think it's whoever wins. I will check. But when a bonus card appears as the next card in the deck, the player whose turn it is keeps the card. And at any stage in the game, they can move it. So
yeah.
Okay. If Galadriel could play in a band, what band would she be?
The creepiest.
The Beatles, ABBA, the Spice Girls, the Glenn Miller Band, Village People, or AC/DC?
God.
2.
See, I said 1 because of the fame issue, like being she's up high in the thing, and the Beatles is one of the most famous. I mean, they're all some of the most famous, but I think the Beatles, like, changing the world kind of thing. But why did you say 2?
Very glam.
Well, we haven't had Odo yet, so we'll take Odo. If Odo were a monster, which would he be? Number 2 is gonna... Dracula, the Blob, Frankenstein, Werewolf, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or Cookie Monster? I know, I mean, it's so simple to pick.
Yes.
It's funny that he got that one because it's so easy to pick. I'm guessing you're going to say number 2 also.
Yes, I'm saying number 2.
So I get...
You get 2.
2 points.
And I get
You
1.
get 1. And then I roll...
And then you roll for the
the
third imaginary person.
Imaginary.
Sahara, you're playing the game. You roll for Sahara. She's under the table.
2. That's a challenge.
A challenge, you don't really play challenges in two-player game because you choose one person to go head-to-head with. And we're doing that the whole time, so...
Okay. We won't do challenge. Aragorn. If Aragorn were a crime, what would he be? Vagrancy, homicide, shoplifting, corporate fraud, unsafe lane change, indecent exposure. Have you decided
I've
one?
decided, yes.
What one did you decide?
Number 1, vagrancy.
See, I was thinking number 5 because it was sort of the lesser but the more dangerous because of what he's had to do to get to where he is.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I was just going on the whole ranger having no fixing.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Well, I'm going to go with Thranduil again. If Thranduil had to decide which of the following is most important, which would he choose? Religion, sports, money, friendship, knowledge, appearance?
I would say 6. Movies. My only knowledge is of the movies.
See, I went the other way, knowing that you only knew the movies and knowing all the things you've said in our previous discussions. I went with 3, money meaning wealth and sort of being avaricious and stuff.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You have to kind of think like other people. What would other people think?
Yes.
Also, when we did this on the cruise, we did it that way as teams of 2.
We did it as teams of 2. We had several people who were partnered, and we asked a question. We drew names out of a hat, and the people who, if the team agreed with each other, they got a point, and if they didn't agree, they didn't get the point. And we did it that way on the cruise. And so you really had to think. I mean, you could do it that way too.
The fun thing is, you know.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, when you're looking at this one, if you know, I mean, like with Thranduil, if you know just the movie Thranduil, you might have gone with 6 because, you know, God knows they made him certainly out into a pretty sort of person.
Well, they make all the elves pretty, but he was more. The posture was more appearance driven. Also,
yeah.
It was more like I'm not just posturing because I'm, you know, the eldest or in charge, because Elrond is also the eldest and in charge, but he doesn't posture in the same way that says appearance means something to me.
Yeah.
Which is like way getting into it. Well, let's go back with Odo since he kind of got gypped before. Oh my god. Why do I do this? If Odo were kissing goodnight after a first date, where would he plant it? This question is already answered. On the lips, on the back of the hand, on the cheek, on the feet, on the earlobe, on the tonsils. It depends on who the first date is.
Doesn't it always?
Yeah, well, I mean, what did you pick?
2.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I did 1 because that's where the first kiss was.
Well, I know that, but I was thinking more deeply than that, and it's very proper as Odo, so it's back in the hand.
All I could see was his side.
Hi, you coming to play?
That says Odo.
This says that I'm on the table and I'm not supposed to be.
Okay.
So now it's Sahara's turn, but it's my turn to roll for Sahara. Imagine if Bilbo were something to look through. Which would he be? Telescope, sunglasses, reading glasses, binoculars, safety goggles, rose-coloured glasses.
I said 1.
I said 3.
Yeah. I went with, like, current Bilbo, not beforehand, because if it was the early Bilbo, I would have said the safety goggles, where he was afraid to leave.
Mm-hmm.
But then after he left, he was all about, oh, wasn't this a great adventure? So a telescope would go better with the adventure. And reading glasses, of course, because
So you can move, because Sahara rolled
a 1,
a 1.
so I can move.
Yes.
Yay for me. 1. All right.
Now it's my turn. My turn, Sahara. My turn.
Well, you did put your face to hers.
Let's go back to Kira. If Kira were a colour, which colour would she be? Lime green, shocking pink, basic black, beige, royal blue, or pure white? 2.
I went with 4. For practical, sort of goes with everything.
But she's also very in your face, like shocking pink.
Yeah, okay. They're both right. Sahara decides. I roll for Sahara.
Yeah, you roll for Sahara this time.
6.
So neither.
Pure white.
No, Sahara. Really not.
We disagree with that, Sahara. Imagine if Bilbo were a collection, what would he collect? Yes, hi, hello, you're so excited about Bilbo being a collection. Spoons, live insects, empty beer cans, frequent flyer points, wedding rings, or credit cards.
I've chosen.
Me too.
Okay. Wedding rings?
I said frequent flyer for the traveling.
Alright. I just went with the obvious on that one.
But he didn't collect more than one
I
ring.
know he didn't, but no, Sahara agrees with me, meh.
Oh, the dogs win. Yes, I know, it's so exciting. We finally got somebody that we hadn't done before. If Bashir accidentally backed over the neighbor's cat in the driveway, what would he do? It's on the car. We're going with an animal cruelty thing today. Bury it and say nothing. Confess. Buy a replacement and pretend nothing happened. Place it on the road and say nothing. Blame the neighbor for inadequate cat control. Run over it again to make sure it was dead. What do you think? What do you think I should say?
Okay.
You put a lot of thought into that.
I did.
What did you decide?
Number 1.
Bury it and say nothing?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I mean, he concealed his genetic enhancements for so long, for a start off, and then I was thinking the whole Section 31 business, if he was...
You just went so deep into that. I just thought if it actually happened, he'd confess. He'd tell somebody, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I did this thing. That's what I thought.
And then that's what the dice thought too, so...
That was my turn, right? Or was it Sahara's turn?
That
It was
was
Sahara's
Sahara's
turn, so
turn,
I
so
just go 1.
So now it's my turn. Sorry, if I'm going too deeply, I shan't. I'm thinking too much, folks. If Aragorn were a 1960s movie, which would he be? Barbarella, The Sound of Music, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Goldfinger, Psycho, or Dr. Zhivago? 6.
Yeah.
Yay.
I go 1, you go 2. I get a 1. Let's go with Rom. Can I get a card without you knocking my hand? If Rom were the United States president, who would he be? George Bush, Harry Truman, Bill Clinton, Richard Nixon, John F. Kennedy, or Abraham Lincoln? I said 6.
6.
Yeah. Probably for the same reason that I said 6. That's 2 for me, 1 for you.
Because he was...
The change in the Ferengi, yeah. Okay.
If Galadriel had made $1 million, how would she most like to have made it? So how would she want to have made it? Sports prowess, brilliant invention, sheer hard work, class action lawsuit, winning the lottery, or show business? Go. 6.
All that dramatics with the mirror and everything.
Exactly what I thought. From Galadriel to Thranduil.
From elf to elf.
Yes. If Thranduil could go on a dream vacation, which would it be? Disney World, luxury cruise, visit the world's museums, African hunting safari, work around the house, spend all day, every day surfing the internet.
Are we going by movie or book?
Have you met Thranduil in the books yet?
I've never met any of them in the books, to be honest. I haven't met anyone on the board.
It wouldn't be fair to go by the book, Thranduil.
Okay, well then I'm going by the movie one. Mm-hmm. And I say 4.
Okay, I would say 2.
That was debating until you got to 4, and I thought of that gigantic antler throne that he sits on, which is why I asked if it was movie or...
No.
Do you know how much work that would have taken to have that kind of a thing? That's like a hunting trophy to me.
No, it's a...
What does the dog say? 5.
The dog says work around the house.
Well, I don't know.
Now, he did build it, actually. He did, but you wouldn't know that unless you...
I would believe... Why is your foot sticking up in the air? There's a foot here. Just a foot. Just a foot! Is it my turn for me?
Yes, your turn for you.
Imagine if Kira were a board game, what would she be? Monopoly, Scrabble, Twister, Imaginiff, Chess, or Candyland? What'd you say?
5.
Chess? Really?
Yeah.
I said 3 because it's the most physical of any of them.
I can see that. Roll Sahara's dice there.
But I can also see the chess, the manipulation and stuff. But I would think she'd go for a more physical game than not. Rom or Bashir, pick somebody from Deep Space Nine. I'll read it.
Sahara wants to read it. It's my turn.
Okay, Sahara, read it. Read it. Read it, Sahara. Read it. She says, I'm camera shy. Bashir. Imagine if Bashir could have just one pet. What would he choose? A pit bull, a parrot, a poodle, a hamster, a black cat, or a pet rock? Which one?
6.
See, I was torn between that one and 5, but I picked 5 in the end.
Okay, we'll roll for Sahara.
What was the other one you were torn between?
Poodle.
4. Nobody agrees. Sahara, why would he have a hamster? Why would Bashir have a hamster? It's in a cage?
If Bilbo were a special vehicle, which would he be? A tank, an ambulance, a parade float, a garbage truck, an ice cream truck, or a limousine?
I said 3, the parade float.
I said 5, the ice cream truck.
Why the ice cream truck?
Because it's a hobbit. They're forever eating.
Oh, I didn't even think about that one. I said parade float because he's The one that hauls all the dwarves with him. They're like trooping around in a cluster. Imagine if Aragorn were an emotion, which would he be? Hate, fear, jealousy, rage, lust, or love? It's at 6. Yeah, we agree on that one. Just move us. Imagine if Galadriel had to watch all these movies, which would she dread the most? The Sound of Music, The English Patient, Conan the O'Brien, Porky's, Friday the 13th, anything starring Jim Carrey. I would say 6. Yeah. Read it. Read it.
If Thranduil were an animal sound, which would he be?
A moose.
Meow, moo, roar, gobble, hiss, or hoot?
I already know.
I said 5 too.
So you go 2 and I go 1. I give it for me. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, we need to go to Kira then, because otherwise it would have been a challenge. And that's the bonus card. Imagine if Kira were an article of memorabilia, what would she be? Elvis's sequin jumpsuit, Babe Ruth's bat, Darth Vader's helmet, Dorothy's ruby slippers, Shakespeare's quill, or Lincoln's top hat? That is a really loaded question. Not just based on the person, but like really loaded. There's symbolism and stuff to.
Now you see, before you said that, I was like, yeah, I know, but now I'm thinking too deep again.
Well, don't think deep. Just yeah, I know. What would you say?
2.
So would I. Can I use this?
Yes.
Move 1 extra space. I've caught up with you.
Almost. Yeah. If Aragorn suffered a minor crisis, which would upset him most? Burning the roast, scratch on the car, computer virus, TV breaking down, credit cards cancelled, stain on the lapel.
What would you say?
2.
Scratch on the car. That's exactly what I thought of. I mean, I couldn't see anything else. If anything hurt his horse,
Yes.
that would bother him more than anything.
Yes.
Of course, that's a little bit more superficial than hurting a horse. Scratching a car is.
Yeah, but still, I had to equivalence.
I would say the scratch on the car.
So I've moved us, and now it's my turn. Because that was Harrow's turn.
Harry, you're playing so well.
I'm going to go there. If Thranduil bought a newspaper, which would he read first? Personals, financial section, sports, comics, obituaries, or want ads?
2. It was between that and 5, the obituaries. I'm just going to take that and stick it so that they're a little bit more shuffled, so that when we shuffle them, they're not in a bunch. That was your turn.
Yes.
So now it's my turn. 1, 2, or 1, 2. I'm going that way because this is going to be my last turn, because you're definitely going to. Imagine if Rom were a criminal, who would he be? Al Capone, Michael Milken, Heidi Fleiss, Robin Hood, Richard Nixon, or the Joker? You already know. Is it going to be 4?
Yes.
Yeah, Robin Hood. I couldn't see him committing a crime for any reason other than to help people.
Yes.
And you win.
Yes.
Hooray!
So let's imagine.